Hello, and welcome to Recapping with Delora
and Ashley.
Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Recapping Podcast.
Also, rate, review, and subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast platform. We're on all the things.
We want to hear your thoughts on the movies and shows we review.
Leave us a comment on Apple Podcasts or our YouTube channel, and we will read them during the show.
Or reach out to us on social media. We love talking all things entertainment and pop culture with you.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you.
Delora, we are back after a little bit of a break. How you feeling?
Yes.
How you living?
I'm refreshed. Thank God for breaks. They are needed. I had a fabulous time off. I had a birthday.
Yes,
Shout
yes.
out to my birthday. It was on a Saturday this year, so loved it. And we got a chance to go to Cancun, Mexico, which was awesome. Like those beaches, it was like the most gorgeous thing I've seen in a very long time. I'm a sucker for white sands and blue water. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so we were on the heels, literally, of Hurricane Beryl. And, shout out to everybody who was really impacted by the hurricane. Honestly, if we were smart, we probably should have canceled. But Beryl ended up hitting more south of where we were. So we were okay. So things are good. How about you, Ashley? How was your time off?
Well, first of all, I'm definitely glad that you guys made it and had a fabulous time and were not impacted by the hurricane. Because I know this hurricane kind of had a full life.
It
Went
sure
up
did.
and down and even hit Houston, Texas. So
never followed a hurricane so closely in my life. Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to living in the Midwest. But it was pretty intense. And again, prayers and peace to everyone impacted by it, because it did hit Jamaica pretty hard, and Grenada and Houston. So I don't wish that on anyone. But yeah, how was your break, Ashley?
I wish I had been on a beach somewhere on vacation. That sounds wonderful. I'm still recovering from my sleep. I made a major move from state to state, left Florida, back in Ohio. So it has been an intense couple of weeks, just getting everything together, getting everything organized, but we made it. And I am very grateful to have made it. And I'm happy to be back around friends and family, and give me a good month, and maybe I'll have more energy to talk about it as well. I keep pushing back my time. First I said a week, now I'm saying a month. So that's just because I have some more travel to do in the midst of this as well. So we're maintaining over here, but I did get to get in a little bit of fun. I got a chance to go see a concert I had been highly anticipating, which was my girl Janae. Yes, my girl Janae Aiko, and she did not disappoint. The only thing that I have to say is that she did not come on until 10 p.m. The show started at 7, baby.
Did she have an opening act?
She had 4. She had Kiana Lede, she had a singer named Umi, she had Tink, and she had Coyle Ray. But those 4 opening acts were spaced out too. That's the reason why it took so long. It'd be like one of them comes on, then it's 30, 45 minutes, to the next one comes on, and it's just,
what?
No, I'm gonna need y'all to just have Janae on at least 8:30. It was 9 o'clock when even Beyonce came on stage. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But the show itself, when Janae got on there, was such a vibe. She hit all my favorites. My requests were BS, None of Your Concern, and Triggered. And she hit all of those plus more. She gave us the sound bowls. Her stage production was gorgeous. Her sister came out.
I was just about to ask you about the sound bowls. Did she do that?
She sure did.
My favorite song from her is Ways, Why Aren't You Smiling? I love that. I love that one.
I think she just gave us exactly what everybody was looking for. And I have to say, I love Janae Aiko. I didn't know she packs out stadiums like that. This is her first arena tour.
Yeah, I
And
didn't know that either.
and it was also like when you see the crowd, you're like, oh, this is a Janae Aiko crowd, right? From the outfits to there was a girl there with light up fairy wings
Of
on.
course.
Everybody was
Was there a lot of
super.
weed
There was definitely we
in
were
the
getting some
air?
contact highs. But everybody was super like sweet. I was like, I go to a lot of like live events, and like this
Yes.
was one of the friendliest, nicest crowds I've ever been in my life.
I love
So
that.
it was just such a great positive energy, and I just really, really enjoyed
So
it.
no special guest speak, Sean.
Just her sister. Big Sean did not
Okay.
come out, which I thought he might, but I wasn't sure if he's like traveling with them or what else he may have going on. So
Yeah.
I would have loved to see Sean, but it was nice to see her sister. So,
Nice.
yep, good
Very
times.
nice. And we also had two major in conversations drop while we were on this break.
We sure did.
We hope everyone heard them out. We spoke to Stacy Spikes and your lovely
Dorisha
cuz.
Kai. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, so we did not leave y'all high and dry on content, okay? We still
Right.
put out a few things that we hope that you guys got a chance to enjoy. And if you haven't, go back and listen to those. We also did a replay of Queen Charlotte because
We
I'm
sure
definitely
did.
rewatching and have been rewatching that series multiple times.
Exactly, exactly. And our Bridgerton season 3 is coming. We'll keep you posted on that for sure, but we, can't wait to talk later on what we're going to be recapping today or next week.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get things kicked off as usual. This is Thursday, so we do our headlines and hot topics episode for you guys. And we have to start out with a couple of RIPs. The first one being Shannon Doherty, star of Beverly Hills 90210 and Charmed. She passed away at the tender age of 53. I knew that Shannon was still battling cancer. This had
Yes.
been something that she had been dealing with since 2015 when she was first diagnosed with breast cancer. And I'm looking at an article
Mhm.
from People, and they say that she was a devoted daughter, sister, aunt, and friend. She had had some issues with her ex-husband. I remember being in the headlines these last few months of her
Mhm.
life, but it seems like she was still really able to keep her spirits up. I saw a video of her where she's just talking about how people have misconceptions about cancer, think that means that you can't really live, that you're
Right.
bedridden, you're this and that, but she was just so joyful about the fact that she just did not take a single day or a single moment for granted, and that she was really continuing to live her life to the fullest. So definitely sad to see that she was, had to succumb to cancer and the battle she was fighting. But I definitely hope that she was able to enjoy these last few years of her life and really enjoy that time with her friends and loved ones.
Absolutely. I was really saddened to hear the news of her passing because, as you mentioned, she was so optimistic about life in the midst of her fight. And I found that to be very inspiring. I think Shannon Doherty, she's always been in the periphery of my understanding of pop culture. Unfortunately, being a kid of the 90s, I wasn't necessarily old enough to watch 90210. I'm aware of it. I know who the stars are, and I probably watched several episodes, but I wouldn't be able to give you like the storyline. You know what I mean? Compared to like a One Tree Hill, like that was more of our generation, so to speak. But what I do remember was the fallout when she, left the show ahead of everyone else. And then the same happened when she was on Charm, because I did watch a bit of Charm growing up. And, I'm very
I watched a lot
happy.
of Charmed. Actually,
Did
I used to
you?
watch it on
Ah,
CBS, TNT reruns constantly.
I
Yes.
love that. I got into it a little bit, but I was not like a diehard fan by any means. I did watch the reboot, but any case, I'm actually looking at this article. It's an opinion piece in the New York Times. It says we owe Shannon Doherty an apology. And, she kind of became a bit of a poster child for being quote unquote difficult. I'm looking at you, Katherine Heigl, like the
Mm,
comparisons and everything happened when things went awry for her with Grey's Anatomy and so to speak, after knocked up and things. This is just really sad, and praying for her family, friends, and loved ones because, again, the fact that she has been able to be a source of inspiration and be so transparent with her story was a gift to a lot of people and caretakers who are in similar positions.
absolutely. Rest in peace to Shannon. Next, we have Richard Simmons. Richard has passed away as well, and he was 76. He passed away the day after his 76th birthday. Now, this one, as clear cut to a certain extent as we know Shannon's passing was, with kind of having an understanding of what had happened, Richard Simmons is very murky. His death is currently under an investigation pending the cause of death, according to the LAPD. I'm looking at an NBC News article. He was found dead at his Los Angeles home over the weekend. And I remember him posting something or saying something about the fact that he was close to death and then saying that it was like a joke. So I was still shocked when this news came out that he had actually passed away. And so, with this kind of investigation, I'm like, was he being poisoned? Who were his caretakers? Like, I think it left me with a lot of unanswered questions. What were your thoughts about Richard Simmons passing?
Well, unfortunately, it kind of reminded me, granted, their star power are, a little different, but when Michael Jackson died, we forget that Farrah Fawcett died earlier that day. You know what I mean? And so it was just one of those things where the conversation of threes, and, Dr. Ruth died the same day as them as well. So the sex doctor from the early 90s, she died at like
Mm-hmm.
96 years old. So honestly, when hearing about these three deaths, unfortunately I thought about that. The three phenomenon. But with him, it was concerning because he hasn't been seen in public since 2014. And so there was a rally several years ago and like, where's Richard Simmons? People, I think that someone actually made a documentary about it, like,
Yeah, it was
and
a podcast called Missing Richard
thank
Simmons.
you, thank you. And that also reminded me of when Kate Middleton, who hadn't been seen since December, and me being very snarky right now, people assuming that she might have just gotten some work done. But I shouldn't laugh too much because according to official Palace Communications, she is working through her own cancer diagnoses. So I think it's interesting. He was very adamant about leaving him alone, and that kind of ended that podcast. And so to to see this happen several years later and for it to be under investigation, I'm just curious if there's something going on that the public doesn't know yet. That's
Yeah. I mean, it was rumored that he was being held hostage by his housekeeper at one point. So, yeah, I'm definitely super curious because one of the things that is concerning is that when you are wealthy, famous, what have you, and you are getting older or you're of poor health, you do see people taken advantage of. I mean, we even saw it with Britney Spears, right? Where it seemed
yeah,
like during times where she was dealing with mental health crises, she had people around her who were kind of trying to manipulate her in certain ways. You had it with folks like Zsa Zsa Gabor when she got older, where it seemed like she was married to a much younger man who was trying to take her money. Like, it's a
yeah,
story, it's a tale as old as time. We see it a lot.
yeah.
So, Richard Simmons was a fitness icon, right?
I
So
mean,
to what
truly.
extent someone may have been trying to harm him or take advantage of him, we'll have to let the news cycle tell us. But again, rest in peace to Richard Simmons. Um, he
He
definitely
was such a
was
bright soul, and I
he
just
was
remember
very
him having
inspirational.
such wonderful compassion and love and joy in what he and passion in his work. And
Yep.
like, yes, it was made fun of because yes, I am thinking about Eddie Murphy
And the Nutty
and Nutty
Professor.
Professor. But I remember that, and he was at his peak when I was probably what, 8, very very young, and so the way he was able to penetrate my understanding of the world at the time, I think that says a lot about his character. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family and friends as well.
For sure. All right, let's move on to Rachel Lindsay, our girl, Big Rach. I have been listening to her, and I'm not laughing because it's not funny, but I've been listening to her kind of struggling on Higher Learning podcast and knowing
Mm-hmm.
that she's been going through this divorce with Brian. For those of you who are not familiar, Rachel Lindsay was the first Black bachelorette. She found love on the show with Brian Abasola. They got married, and they were married for I want to say around 6 or 7 years.
It's just 4 years
Oh, they
on
were just
people.
together for maybe 6 or 7 years then.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so things seem like they turned a bit contentious with the divorce proceedings because Brian has been claiming that he needs financial support from Rachel. And this
Yep.
most recent headline is that she has been ordered to pay $13,000 a month in spousal support to him, despite opposing his request. I'm looking at people. He's claiming basically he's only been making like $1,700 a month or
$16,000.
something from his monthly income somehow as a chiropractor, and that he needs funds to help to be able to move out of their shared home, and that Rachel has cameras but only she has access to those cameras, and yada 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 essentially. And
It
first of
feels
all,
petty. It's giving petty and vindictive.
I think the biggest thing I thought when I first saw the headline was like, damn, Rach, you make that type of money. That was one, right?
It was definitely giving Kevin Hart's. Damn.
Yeah. And then my second thought was, Brian, have you just been laying around and sitting on your ass this whole time? Like, what you mean? You living in LA, this celebrity lifestyle, and you're claiming to only make $1,700 a month?
$16,000 annually. And her people was like, that's less than some people make if he were to work at McDonald's.
Yeah, it's just to me,
Unrealistic.
it just felt absolutely absurd. And I don't want to play this game of like, I don't respect a man who can't take care of himself financially. But to be honest with you, as a grown ass adult, period, I can't say that I respected the way that it seems like this has been treated and the way it seems like this divorce is kind of going, because I just wish Rachel had gone ahead and got that prenup. She is a
But why
lawyer at
didn't
the end of the
she?
day.
Her dad is a judge. She's a lawyer. I
People
assume.
people still try to make it seem like if you get a prenup, then you're already anticipating a divorce. I don't agree with that. I don't
Oh,
agree with
not when
that.
you
I
have
think,
assets going into the
yes,
relationship. No, not at
everybody
all.
should be team prenup, because at the end of the
Yes.
day, if something does go sideways, it just keeps everything very clear.
Clean. That's your Capricorn coming out, Ashley. But still.
Sure, sure. Organized, clean, and clear and under control. Because this shouldn't even be a need to be doing all of this, right? And I don't know. It just makes me not like Brian, if I'm honest.
Girl, yeah. When he filed for divorce and seemingly blindsided her, it was a wrap for me then. But then to come, it was like the 1-2 punch of like, yes, by the way, I'm filed for divorce and I want you to pay spousal support. People are saying like he's not making as much money because he made the move to LA because they were, I think, in Florida where he was, that was his home
Yeah, he was
base.
in Miami.
Right. And with this move, it just made him vulnerable financially. I don't know. I feel like he wants to hurt her and embarrass her with these actions.
Mm.
And I think he's successful. Although I have to admit, a lot of the comments I've seen, especially on like the shade room and things like that, there are some people who are saying that they are losing respect for him in this process, for asking for spousal support. So I don't know. It's interesting. I hate this for her. I love her. You know, she's a girl's girl, and this is, I watched her season live, so for me, I was rooting for her and her happy ending. The way they had it in the show, in full transparency, Brian was not necessarily a front runner. He was consistent though. The one that they gave her the most time with was Peter. I've seen that on people's comments. They're like, Peter would never, but then she wanted to be engaged and Peter wouldn't give that to her. So I don't know. This, I'm sure she'll figure it out. And I hope and pray for love for her, and a happy ending. I'm always rooting for her. You know what I mean? So this is a
Absolutely.
dark time, but I need for her to see the other side. And
Firmly Team Rach, Team Big
yes,
Rach, firmly. I didn't watch the show live. I started the season on Hulu at some point and never really had an interest in continuing on with it. I think she feels like she's so beyond that moment in time, just her personality and what I gauge of her on the podcast, that I just like, oh,
yeah.
I don't need to watch this. And now even more so, cancel The Bachelor, cancel The Bachelorette. This shit does not work. Okay? Does not
Listen,
work.
I
Who's
think
still
the
together?
first one,
Trisha?
Trisha, exactly. And I remember her and her fireman boo. They're all like gray now with like I think their kids are like almost teenagers now or something. Like I cannot even.
Yeah. I was wanting them to stay together, but now just kind of seeing the chain of events, I don't even know how happy they might have been for a long
Girl,
time.
that is what I'm saying. I'm looking at People article too. I don't know if it's the exact same one, but she claimed that she was surprised and said that he texted her. Like they had a conversation. He left and then texted her saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, I filed." That
Yeah.
would be shady AF,
Yeah.
Ashley.
And he had actually originally asked for
Yes.
$16,275 a month. Like, bro, what? To maintain their marital standard of living. I have never agreed with this for men or for women. We talked about this with Kevin Costner, his wife.
We
When we not
did.
together no more, boo
Yes.
boo, guess what? You ain't gonna stay in a mansion with 3 tennis courts because that's my money. That's my money. Y'all are tripping. Y'all are grown adults talking about y'all need to maintain a standard of living that your spouse supplied for you. What? You better go take
I
your
don't
ass and get an
know. I
apartment.
do. I will give you a caveat when it comes to women and women who have built up these men with free labor
We not
for
talking about day ones. We
years.
not talking about like
I'm talking,
Juanita.
okay, thank you. Okay.
We
Yeah.
not talking about the
Kevin
day
Costner, I think that
ones.
was his like third wife or something, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
We not
okay.
talking about the
Yeah.
people who were there in the struggle.
Right.
We talking about the people who come along when you've already reached a certain level and are like,
Okay.
now that we're
I'm
no
on the
longer going to
same
be
page.
together, I'm gonna need. No, you don't need shit. You better go get you a job. You better go get you an apartment.
Find you another boo like Eddie Murphy's ex-wife. What's her name? She stays with a wealthy man. Now she stays looking snatched too. Nicole Murphy.
Yeah, Nicole. I think Nicole has some level of money herself, though.
Did
But
she?
I think she does. Because she was like a model or she was something. Like it was, I don't think Nicole just was sitting around not doing shit. I don't think she was that spouse.
They never do. They always make themselves available so they can
I
catch
mean,
them a
I didn't
wealthy
agree with her
man.
fucking around with Leela Rashawn's husband. That's for
No,
sure.
I
Antoine
girl,
Fuqua.
girl,
And you see, I
listen.
didn't say I didn't call him director Antoine Fuqua. I said Leela Rashawn's husband.
Part,
Okay.
that part.
Okay. But no, I think she was doing something. But regardless, she was a day one too, right? That was the
That's
woman that he
true.
came into Hollywood with. It is what it is, as far as I know. As far as I know, because Eddie was a
She.
little. He lived his life a little bit too there, to at a
Wait,
certain
wait,
extent.
wait. Speaking of things we didn't put on the agenda, he recently got married to the
And I
latest
left that
baby
off
mama.
intentionally. Yep, nothing to see there for me. Nothing to see there for me. Just as
Ah,
much as that Beverly Hills cop, nothing to see there either. That's how I felt about this
girl,
marriage.
girl. So it was no Bad Boys 4 then.
No, ma'am. The bright spot was his daughter because I love that actress, but otherwise, no, no, ma'am, no. So
Noted.
anyway, we went down a little bit of a rabbit hole. I say all this to say for this story, Rach, live your best life. I love that you are getting in touch with various things to help cope, getting into skiing, you're doing all these things. Van is a huge supporter of you. I love that y'all relationship has blossomed in this way on the podcast. Keep doing you, sis.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Rachel said, I'm coming
Team
home.
Rachel.
Black men only.
I mean, they did drive her to go to The Bachelorette. So, well, no, The Bachelor, and then she was chosen for The Bachelorette.
It
So I
don't
don't know.
matter. She probably would have went to a black bachelorette if there had been one. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't
Of
think she was
course.
ever like, I'm
Yeah.
done with black men
No.
whatsoever. So,
No. I'm
anyways,
just suspect of these men out here in general.
well,
Just
let's get
from my
into that.
girls.
Because moving into our hot topics, we're about to get into somebody who's messing with one of the most suspicious
Girl.
mofos in Hollywood at the moment. Okay, let's get into it.
Ashley.
Let's get into hot topic number one: the Meagan Good has spoken out in several interviews as she's making the rounds for press for Divorce in the Black, this latest Tyler Perry movie that she is starring in along with Corey Hardwick. It's Corey Hardwick. I don't know why I always say Corey Hardwick. Like
I think you're thinking about ghosts or
I think
something.
so, Maury. I always
Yeah.
say Corey Hardwick. It's Corey Hardwick. Okay. So she's been making the rounds. Of course, she was on Club Shay Shay. She was on with Hoda and Jenna. She's been doing her thing.
Girl, she was on people.com also.
Yeah, I mean, I have a Washington Post article, is the primary source I'm looking at the moment. And she spoke out on her divorce from Devon Franklin. She's spoken on the film. She's spoken on Jonathan Majors. And some of the highlights that I just wanted to bring up out of her divorce. I didn't know Devon was the one who said, I'm leaving you.
Girl,
I
that
had
was a
no
revelation.
idea.
And the
Yeah.
way she kind of just put it, she kind of just put it in there real quick and just kept talking. I was like, wait, hold up. Because I have to say, their relationship ending was one of the ones that's been pretty low key because they are absolutely friendly, right? Friendly exes and all. Um,
Well, she said she was really angry with him at first, but yes, they
yeah,
kept it in the house.
yes, in house, and every public interaction is, obviously really positive, but yeah.
Yeah, she said her biggest fear was that her husband was going to leave her after a decade, like her parents. And that is exactly what happened. They were married for 9 years,
Yep.
and we know what happened thereafter.
Yep.
Um, she also spoke out on this relationship with Jonathan Majors, right? And the fact that she had friends who told her, like, girl, don't do that. Don't mess with that man. And she basically said, listen, I have to live my life the way I want to live it. Because if I don't, if there is something that happens and I'm taking everybody else's advice, I'm not living true to myself. I won't be able to look myself in the mirror, all that stuff. And I always feel good no matter what happens, as long as I'm staying true to me. Yeah, ba ba ba.
Sure.
Sometimes it is wise to take advice from other people. Every lesson does not need to be lived to be learned.
Girl, thank you. I am all for lessons learned by other people. You know what I mean? Let me take note and apply that to myself and keep it moving, right?
I could have even
In the
seen
video
the
I
whole
saw,
mentality of I'm going to stand beside him if the charges hadn't been domestic abuse.
Ashley, in the video I saw that was with people.com, she was talking about obviously the movie. And we already are dealing with whether or not they're a PR stunt or not, right? And so the way she talked about how they met was so vague. She was like, "Oh, we met at an event and there was something there. And then we met again and I was like, "Oh no, there's no denying this chemistry. This is going to happen." And I'm sitting there watching it saying to myself, you do realize, Meagan, that the first time most of us understood y'all were together was you showing up in court with him, holding his hand while he was holding the Bible and that rusty looking mug that was in the prohibition.
He's
Sorry.
like, it's like he lived in a different era and somehow got time jumped to the 2020s.
You know
Like
how
I'm not
people
fully convinced he is of this era of life.
you know how people as like if you could live in any other decade, what decade would you live in? For most black people, it's like the future because there's nothing in the
Yeah.
past that's for me when it comes to oppression and racism. Um, but for him, those videos that came out of him dancing at the release party, him shuffling again like it was 1922.
Yeah. Usually I don't talk about people's dancing because I can't dance my damn self, but I this is why smartphones are a problem because let
I'm
that man
surprised
not be
he
able
let
to dance in
people.
peace. Oh my gosh.
But Ashley, again, I need to stress that we became aware of her relationship with him when he was on trial for domestic violence.
Yeah. If it had been a gun charge, I would have let it go. If it had been drug charge, I probably would have let it go. I think there are levels to, and we've talked about this before, levels to criminality, levels to
Yes,
what you might be like, well, there were circumstances that may have precipitated this that caught whatever. But as a woman,
girl.
I'm gonna need to take 30 steps back before I start dating someone who is on trial for potentially emotionally and physically abusing their partner.
And in addition to that, the question came up about how awkward he is on red carpets, and she was like, you know, I've been doing this for decades because obviously we know her as a child star. Shout out to Ease by You, my cousin Skeeter. She's like, oh, he's all about the art. And so this whole paparazzi thing is new to him. And I have to remind him to smile and things like that. Because one of the reasons why people think the relationship isn't real is because he never seems comfortable around her or anybody when he's doing these public appearances to try to salvage his public image. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm sitting a little silent. And guys, I know you can't see me on video. So sometimes you may think that I'm not engaged, and I am. I'm just sitting silently because I think the overall sentiment I felt throughout this is just extreme disappointment. Because again, I think I've loved Meagan Good and been a fan for so long that this man just does not feel worthy of her. And I
Mm,
know that it's not even about who he was as an actor or anything like that. It's just been this moment of time, this trajectory of character that I've seen in him that I'm just like, I'm not, I would want better for you. And we're not even friends or family. Like, I just would want better for you than to lend your time, your energy. Now she's talking about she wants babies. Like, bro, please don't have a child with this man
really?
anytime soon. Like, take a
Well,
minute.
did you see the paparazzi today asking him, would you marry her? Would you put a ring on it? And he's like, yeah, sure. Uh-huh.
I don't. I care about as much as I care about Common saying he's going to potentially marry Jennifer Hudson.
Girl. When I'm
I
like,
don't care.
why is the Breakfast Club setting this man up for failure? We already know Common ain't it when it comes to happily ever after with anybody. Somebody was like, is he part of Black Hollywood starter pack?
I mean, I think it's fine. Everybody marriage is not for everybody. The idea
It
that it
is
is
not
is absurd, right? But I just hope that when it
correct.
comes to the dynamics of the relationships with these women, that's clear, right? That nobody goes into it and gets their feelings hurt because they think, oh, I'm gonna be the
Well,
one to
Tiffany
change
got
them.
her feelings hurt,
She
but
did.
she
She
sure
did.
she
More,
even made
more,
comments
yes,
under that
more,
too.
more so, I think, because it seems like the conversation that they had when they broke up, what he told her then and what he said when he was doing media press about it did not line up, right? So
Correct.
that would have pissed me off too. It's be like, that's not what we talked about. That's
Wait,
not why
so
you
can
said
you
we broke up.
explain the difference again?
I don't remember the exact difference. I remember him basically going on his press tour and Tiffany just making comments and saying, that's not what you said to me. I don't remember the details because I didn't get that
Yes.
involved in their business, but there was some level of a
It was an
discrepancy.
interesting relationship, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, because I mean,
Uh
I love Tiffany, but she's annoying. Like,
girl,
I,
girl,
I
you ain't never lied.
yeah, I couldn't, no, but you know, but didn't mean that you should not be treated with the same level of care and respect as everybody else. And I definitely would have wanted them to end in such a way that made her feel good about herself. So,
But
um,
Ashley, my final question to you is: has any of the women that we love and rooted and root for ended up with somebody that we actually like?
I don't know, maybe some
Because
lesbians
we had this
because
conversation with Hallie, Bailey, and DDG, right? So
oh gosh,
if Whitney didn't pick nobody we like, Beyonce, we still coming around with Jay-Z.
who was the first person you named?
Whitney,
Oh,
the Whitney
Whitney.
Houston.
Well, I was too young to have invested, but that's damn sure not the partnership that I would have chosen because they were very volatile
Very
together,
volatile.
right? Jay-Z,
Absolutely.
Beyonce, I mean, to be honest with you, for me with Jay-Z and Beyonce, I just don't know who else Beyonce would be with anymore. Like,
At this rate, yes.
I just
What
think
when she was younger?
But I just think Beyonce needed a very dynamic, accomplished, secure
Well
partner
known. Yes.
to be able to withstand the level of success that she was going to achieve.
Yeah. I can see it.
So I said maybe some lesbians because it seemed like once women go and realize they lesbians, they be living their best lives, and I'm like, I don't know, man. This heterosexual stuff just feels like we're set up for failure to a certain extent.
The
Because
only person I'm rooting for these days, excuse me, in the Black Love category is Sierra and Russell,
well, he
Denzel and
impregnates her
Paula.
enough, right? Like
What'd you
I
say?
said, he impregnates her enough, right? I
Girl,
mean, what are they
girl.
on? Baby number 4?
That baby almost gave me baby fever, and I never get baby fever.
Wow.
I love my baby. And I appreciate other people's babies. I love all my friends' babies, but I, you know, I'm Amara's mama. That is,
Better claim her.
but their baby is adorable. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
But
all their
okay,
kids are adorable, but
they are.
don't have no babies with this man no time soon, Megan. Let's see how this goes.
They seem so awkward. He doesn't seem like he wants to kiss her. Maybe he doesn't want to do it again. Maybe it's the red carpet thing, like she said in the interview. I don't know.
God forbid that sex tape ever comes out. Don't send that shit to me. All right, Delora, let's move on to our last hot topic of the day. These Emmy nominations are out. Gosh, because the Emmys just came on in January, I'm like, wait.
It
We
feels
got
very
Emmys again.
soon.
Yeah,
Yes.
how we got Emmys again already. So because of the strike and everything that happened, it got delayed
Yep.
this year. And so now it's about to roll right back on around and air September 15th. And then you have the Creative Arts Emmys and all of that that preceded. So the biggest nominees for the 2024 Emmys are The Bear with 23 nominations, A Comedy Series Record, Hulu's Only Murders in the Building with 21 nominations, HBO Max's True Detective Night Country with 19, and Netflix's The Crown with 18. I won't go through the entire exhaustive list. Let's just go through a couple of the major
You have
categories.
Shogun, Ashley, with
Did I miss that
25.
one?
FX Shogun.
Oh, I missed it because it was at the very, very top of this Hollywood Reporter article. Yes, I'm so sorry. Shogun leads the pack with 24 nominations, including
25.
best. What did I say? Lord Jesus.
24.
25 nominations. Y'all forgive me. Listen, I told y'all I'm not right in the head again just yet. 25
We're back after
nominations,
a break. It's all good.
including best drama series, setting several records in the process. I know you watched Shogun, right? I haven't seen
I
it yet.
did. It's
Okay.
excellent.
Very nice. All right. So let's talk about some of the big categories, right? We have the best drama series, The Crown, still going strong. Fallout on Prime Video, I have not watched. Have you seen that?
I've not. No.
The Gilded Age, HBO, which we're supposed to recap that. Are you gonna bring that out at some point?
Maybe we'll see. Because old dude is like borderline my crush. The railroad guy.
The
I forget
beard.
his name.
It's all
The
about a good
beard.
beard.
They save lives, Ashley. They
They
truly do.
do. The Morning Show, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Shogun, Slow Horses, and Three Body Problem. Three Body
I didn't
Problem I had
know.
considered watching, but I haven't yet.
I didn't know Mr. and Mrs. Smith was a drama. I thought it was a comedy.
You know, I can see why they made it a drama, but it does seem like it's a thin line these days because some have said that Hacks should be in the drama category and not in the comedy category. Some people have said The Bear should be in the drama category and not the
Girl,
comedy
I
category.
tried to watch The Bear. I'll pick it up again, but it wasn't funny. It wasn't funny to
This
me.
is the thing, right? This is the so I can make more of an argument for why Hacks is a comedy for sure than I can for The Bear. I think you have to find the comedy in The Bear in terms of just like the drama is funny, the exaggeration of certain things is funny more so than just like, oh, there's a joke, ha ha. Whereas Hacks, they are comedy writers. She is a comedian. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
of course, is even though their day-to-day lives, there can be more drama, particularly this last season. This last season of Hacks. Ooh, okay. And so this is a solid list. I'm surprised Slow Horses in this category, even though it was one of my hidden gems previously. I did not expect to see it necessarily in this list, but good for y'all. Best Actress in a Drama Series, Jen Aniston, The Morning Show, Reese Witherspoon, The Morning Show, Carrie Coon, The Gilded Age, Maya Erskine, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Anna Sagwa, Shogun, and Imelda Staunton for The Crown. Who do you think's going to take that one?
Best actress in a drama?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Probably Shogun.
Okay. I'm just curious to see if The Crown sweeps the way that it has typically swept many categories.
Yeah, the final season of a series is always interesting. They either get all the Emmys they were supposed to get through the years, or sometimes the new show sweeps.
Yep. Yeah, because this is us. Like I said, Mandy Moore was robbed. Okay.
Yep.
Best actor in a drama series, Idris Elba in Hijack. I still need to watch this show. Still need to watch it on Apple TV
I've
Plus.
heard great things.
I have too. I think I just hadn't been in the mood to watch something like that.
Yep.
Donald Glover, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Walton Goggins, Fallout, Gary Oldman, Slow Horses, Hiroyuki Sanada, Shogun, and Dominic West, The Crown.
I'm doing Shogun. I am that girly
That's your
right now.
consistent.
It is.
All right, we'll skip over Best Supporting and Best Guest. Best Comedy Series, Abbott Elementary, of course, The Bear, Curb Your Enthusiasm for its final season, Hacks, Only Murders in the Building, Palm Royale, Reservation Dogs, and What We Do in the Shadows. I didn't even know What We Do in the Shadows was still on.
I have a appreciation for the show. I haven't been like a regular watcher, but I appreciate the humor for sure.
Yeah. Palm Royale, I did really, really enjoy. That was a hidden gem of mine. But I'm still rooting for Abbott Elementary.
Same.
If Curb gets it, final season, I won't be upset. Okay. Best Actor in a Comedy Series, Matt Berry for What We Do in the Shadows, Larry David, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Steve and Martin for Only Murders in the Building, Jeremy Allen White for The Bear, and DeFaro Wunata for Reservation Dogs.
I think it's going to be Jeremy Allen White, just simply off of the
Popularity. The
the
third season has
popularity
not gotten good
of the
reviews,
Bear.
though. So
Really?
yeah, it is not. I need to finish it. I started it. I think I'm at the very last episode of the season. It does have a little bit of a different feel than the first two seasons. But to be honest, the
Okay.
second season had a different feel from even the first season to me for pacing. So,
Mhm.
I mean, it's still quality though, and you get a lot of like in-depth history on characters in the third season. So I still enjoyed it, but it has not gotten great reviews.
Mm.
Best Actress in a Comedy Series, Quinta Brunson for Abbott, Io Itaberry for The Bear, Selena Gomez this year for Only Murders
Finally.
in the Building,
Finally.
Maya Rudolph for Loot, Jean Smart for Hacks, and Kristen Wiig for Palm Royale. I got to
This
give it
is
to
a
Quinta.
stacked category, and I'm
It
rooting for
is.
Quinta. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to Best Limited or Anthology Series. Baby freaking Reindeer. Netflix is going to win this.
You think
Like, I don't even
so?
know if I need to name any other
You
ones.
think
Yeah,
so?
we got Fargo, we got Lessons in Chemistry, which check out that recap. We got Ripley, we got True Detective Night Country. Baby Reindeer is such a dominant show in terms of like fandom as well as like headlines and the real life lady allegedly going on and doing her interview and
Yeah,
suing Netflix and all this. Like,
I saw.
I'm gonna have to give it to Baby Reindeer.
I'm giving it to Lessons in Chemistry because one, I love that novel, and two, the series was well done.
It was well done, but I think it's gonna be tough. All right. So that's it. Those are the big ones that I really wanted to highlight because we have multiple. We still have best directing, best writing, best talk, best reality competition, multiple other categories. But I mean, were there any surprises or snubs to you? Is my last question.
That's a great question because it feels like it's coming so soon.
Yeah.
I feel like I I have a bit of a whiplash, so I can't really tell you like, oh yeah, they're missing ABC XYZ. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like TV is also getting good again post strike. So I'm happy for my boo Jonathan Bailey for being nominated for supporting actor in a limited series and anthology for Fellow Travelers. And shout out to Nicole Bahari getting nominated. Okay, shout out to Black Girl Magic. So we got Nicole Bahari, we have Ajay, Naomi Green, and we have Devon, who just won her Oscar being nominated for Only Murders in the Building. So I'm just really
We also have
ecstatic.
Michaela Cole getting nominated for guest spot for Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which I want her to win because
Yes.
I thought her guest spot was
Yes.
phenomenal.
So these nominations make me very, very happy.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you. It's hard to say because it does feel like, wait, we just did this. I feel like had we had a little bit more time, like I'm watching Presumed Innocent right now, Apple TV. I really think that would have gotten some love in a couple of months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's some other just like really good TV that I think would have gotten some love too if this had been a little bit further into the year or into what I would have been thinking about in terms of the award season and stuff. But it's all good. I'm sure it'll still be a good show and some folks will get some love. So
And shout out to two former hidden gems of mine in the animated program category, Blue Eye Samurai and X-Men 97. Like
I
I
still
those
need to go
are
back and watch that.
phenomenal. So yeah.
Mm. All right, guys. Well, as I said, the Emmys will air in September. So be sure to check that out if you're interested. That is it. That is all for us this week for headlines and hot topics. Delora, what are we recapping for the people for next week?
Ashley, we're going to do it. Okay. We are going to recap Amazon Prime Video #1 movie,
Oh boy.
Divorce in the Black by Tyler Perry.
Mm. Mm. All right.
Girl, y'all
All right.
show up. Show up Tuesday because we got words to say.
Yep. Okay. Come on back for that. Come on back for that, y'all.
You are not alone. This
Yep.
is why we're doing it.
Yep. We appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for checking out this
Truly.
episode. Please
Thank
share
you.
this with everybody, friends, family, coworkers. We will be back, but in the meantime, as always, be blessed.
Bye.